Hasan did a video with CNN. This happened a few days ago. We're going to watch it. It says, Twitch superstar explains one thing Democrats need to focus on to win back bros. All right?
This is Hasan Piker.
This is my dog, Kaya. I thought you legitimately were going to work out.
I could do some weights.
He's a social media superstar with almost 3 million followers on the video streaming platform Twitch.
They're eating the pets.
So this is that whole masculinity
That was a good
thing
day.
we were talking about, huh?
Yeah.
And he's part of a growing group of streamers and podcasters reaching young men online, a space Trump tapped into to reach young male voters.
Punch in, then you won't be able to see that he's not doing any weights.
But Hasan is not a Trump supporter. He's a progressive, a fan of Bernie and AOC. The Democratic Party even invited him to the DNC in August.
Didn't they kick him out, too?
One thing we've been hearing for weeks now is that the left needs a Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I don't think that the Democratic Party can podcast itself out of this issue. Joe Rogan, he endorsed Bernie Sanders in 2020. Maybe they should do an autopsy on why he left the party.
I'm going to be honest. I think he's right. He is. Yeah. There's a reason why people leave. And they leave over policy. They leave over like weird woke shit and stuff like that. No, he's right.
I like to work out. I'm very bro-y. A lot of people look at the optics of that and they don't like it. They think like, oh, well, he's a little toxic, isn't he? And they don't really listen to what I have to say because I'm significantly more progressive than the average Democratic campaign.
Yeah, I've heard you say when it comes to stuff that guys like, you know, you seek that stuff out online, whether it's watching a streamer, whether it's watching guys talking about working out and fitness. You say that the right wing just dominates that space.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I think that's why I started on Twitch, right? I know for a fact that the video game space is like people who consume this culture, people who are a part of this culture are not all right wing. I wanted to showcase the people.
It's never been true. I mean, like, and the reason why a lot of it is popular is because a lot of people are like that. It shouldn't really be a shock that, like, in a country where like 40% of people are basically Republicans, you're going to have a lot of content out there that's like that. Of course you are, because that's what a lot of people think. That's the reason why. I mean, it doesn't need to, yeah, gaming transcends politics. Well, I think it does in a way, but also, like, the reason why it happens is also that I think mainstream media doesn't accurately address what I think a lot of young men's problems are with society. And that's why you have people like Andrew Tate or people like Jordan Peterson who are so popular. It's because they talk in a language that guys understand. The absolute majority of gamers are progressive. They like tech, science, etc. I think that, I mean, it really depends on who it is.
That like, no, you can be a progressive person, you can be a leftist and like have fun at the same time.
Yeah.
How many people were watching your live stream on election night?
The total unique
like
number was 7.5 million.
There's a general sense that when it comes to the world of podcasts, alternative media, I don't even know what you want to call it, that Trump did a much better job with that than Democrats and Harris.
Absolutely. I think that's
Because he had a message that people agreed with. That's the reason why. It's really not that complicated. Yeah, it's not like there's anything intrinsic about it.
true.
Yeah.
I was a naysayer early. When I saw the Aiden Ross collab, I thought this doesn't have motion.
So this is Trump with Aiden Ross.
When Trump went on Aiden Ross's
That was
stream,
so
I was like, it
funny.
was awkward. It was weird.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was awkward. I thought this was great. Like, I thought Aiden did like an insanely good fucking job doing this. Yeah,
But
it was
then I
really
saw
good.
Trump on Theo Vaughn, and he started talking about cocaine, and I was like, uh-oh, this humanizes him.
This is relatable.
Cocaine a stronger
Oh, yeah.
up.
Yeah. Cocaine.
My favorite part about it is how Trump is pretending to not know what cocaine is. It's like, yeah, so how does this work? Like, what? So you snort it, is that right? Oh.
So you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you
Wow.
can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying? It'll.
Harris did consider going on Joe Rogan,
She did.
Yeah.
but she didn't.
So that was a mistake as well, I think, because Joe Rogan can't deliver adversarial interviews if his life depended on it.
What is it that the
I don't think he's trying to either. And I think that also he has delivered adversarial interviews. Like, for example, when he brought on the guy from CNN that, like, you know, he was talking about the horse dewormer thing. Or another example would be that Adam Conover guy. I feel like that was kind of more adversarial, but I don't think also the interviews are made for that purpose either.
Democrat Party has to do differently?
Well, I think that they need to change their policies.
He's right.
It's a policy thing for
Yes, it's 100% a policy thing.
Because I'll say,
which is the boring answer. Although it would be very self-serving for me to say, I'm the left's Joe Rogan, the Democratic Party should give me millions of dollars. That's not going to solve this problem. What will solve this problem is if the Democratic Party actually adopts real left-wing economic populist messaging instead of purposefully avoiding that stuff because they're terrified.
Well, it's also that they actively demonize young men. Like, they actively demonize young men. They, you know, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal if somebody's racist to white people, and there's advantages for women. Like, you can't create a platform that systematically disenfranchises and demonizes a group of people and then be surprised when they go the other direction. And so Hasan's right. It is the policy. Because I feel like, how many of you guys were fans of Bernie Sanders? You liked Bernie Sanders in 2016 or 2020. Right? A lot of people did. People still like Bernie Sanders, right? And so the point is that you just need to cut out identity politics. Like, I'm sorry, but like using identity politics and intersectionality as like a foundational issue is never going to work with people. And it's never going to you're never going to bring people over to your side by telling them that they are somehow wrong or problematic by the nature of their existence. It's just not going to happen. And so what I think happens a lot now is that you have people like, you know, like that guy from the, and this, all of this is connected too, by the way, because what people see, and I think this is like what a lot of young guys see, is they see a cultural apparatus that's been created that allows bigotry and it allows racism to be prevalent, but in a way that is seemingly, or at least like the people believe it is, virtuous, right? So it's like, well, we're being racist to the right people, so it's okay. Well, we're being racist because of history, of something that happened. Yeah, basically reverse racism. Yeah, exactly. And so I think people see this apparatus that's created and they see a person like that avowed art director. This is like just a very recent example. And he's saying negative stuff about white people, and he's saying about how he wants to make Elon Musk angry. And I think that a reasonable, normal, conscientious person is going to see this and say, wow, this is an aggressive, obnoxious person who's trying to categorize people based off of races and then give them advantages because of that. And if you're trying to tell that person that that's not racist, you are insulting their intelligence and they're going to vote against you. And I think that they did. And so that's really what the problem is. It's that when that guy speaks out, when the avowed guy said that, every single person in the gaming industry should have universally condemned him and he should have been fired. But that didn't happen. And the problem isn't even the fact that he didn't get fired. It's that if somebody had done the exact same thing with the roles reversed, they would have been fired. And everybody sees the double standard. And I'm sorry, but I'm never going to vote for a person who's going to categorically put me at a disadvantage. Like, any time that somebody is providing advantages to an identity group that I don't belong to, I will never support that. Never. Why would I actively support somebody who's trying to disenfranchise me and hurt me? It's insane. So he's totally right that it's the policies. And it's also the messaging. The messaging is, it's patronizing, it's rude, it's aggressive. It's awful. It's common sense. It's voting against your best interest. Yeah, people are obsessed with identity politics. Yeah, exactly. But how are you being hurt? Well, for example, like if somebody provides a benefit or a promotion that's available to a group of people that I'm not a part of, that would be an opportunity that I wouldn't have access to because of my identity. Do you understand? So like the moment that that happens, I'm out. I'm totally out. I will never support somebody that will put me at a disadvantage because of immutable characteristics. Maybe you do not need that. But I think I should be treated fairly, the same as everybody else is. And if somebody says that I shouldn't be treated fairly and I should be put at a disadvantage, then I'm going to vote against them. And you can say that it's not fair or whatever. Never.
Of upsetting their corporate donors.
Yeah.
I think Trump speaks to male insecurities better, and I think Trump speaks to the anger that people have. Whereas the other side of the political spectrum does not speak to that anger at all.
There's been a lot of controversy around you.
Yes.
The way you talk about Israel
I've heard about that.
is viewed by some as anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Are you anti-Semitic?
Of course not. The real problem here is that I'm an anti-Zionist. The real problem here is that I'm extremely critical of Israel and all of the information that's readily available, especially on social media for so many people that don't necessarily rely on mainstream media any longer to get their information. And that's why you see this generational gap. If you're over the age of 35, you're still operating on the old boundaries. You're like, no, Israel's the most moral democracy in the Middle East, maybe in the world, right? Like,
I think Hasan is right about that there's a generational difference between people's perception of Israel versus Palestine. I don't think over 35. I think it's probably more like over 45. But yeah, he's right.
That the major generational divide that is, I think, in a very damaging way, feeding into the mistrust overall that people have with mainstream news in general, is coming from that.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think he was right about pretty much everything. I think this was good. This was really good. And I feel like also it's an example of like, if you build it, they will come. The reason why people have moved away from like progressive policies in the Democratic Party is they feel like the party's not made for them. Yeah, I'll link y'all the video. Yeah, honestly, it made sense. Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's really what happens more than anything. I just want to see and win. Now, if you build Blue Sky, well, I mean, there's some people that are at Blue Sky for sure. And does the right need a view? No, they don't. This is the thing, is that if you create something worth fighting for, you don't need to pay people to fight for it. They'll do it for free. That's the thing, is a lot of the people that were like, for example, a lot of the people that were like going to like the Kamala rallies, they were getting paid like, tens of millions of dollars, right? Or at least millions of dollars to do that. So it's really not a surprise that would happen. Both parties have changed so much in the last 5, 10, or 20 years. Yeah, sure. But the right has the view, and it's the view of driving people to the right. Yeah, exactly. And younger generations are brainwashed by social media. Well, older generations are brainwashed by mainstream media. Like, I don't really think that's a very, like, this isn't really much of a conversation, is it? But anyway, I think that the big problem is that young guys get demonized by the left, and they get demonized by the left for doing things that young guys like doing, like being abrasive, saying obnoxious things, being aggressive. And also, I think the main issue, I think, for a lot of guys, and I don't know about you guys, right? But it's like what I was saying before about the identity politics. The moment that I see advantages that are given to like women explicitly, I'm immediately never going to support that, because I'm not a woman and I don't want to see somebody be given advantages based off of their identity. Straight up, that simple. And so if there's a group of people that are doing that, I will always go against them. Why would I support somebody who's actively trying to make things worse for me? It's so simple. It's diminishing to women too. Yeah, I think in a lot of cases it is. You keep saying he's right, but examples are stuff that he would not agree with. He's not completely on board with the anti-white stuff that you're talking about. Well, he might not agree with it. No. I think that he might not think that it's valid. I think that Hasan understands that what I'm saying is accurate. He just doesn't agree with the conclusion. That's two very different things. I think it's very easy to identify, yes, this is why people are mad, without going and saying that you agree with why they're mad. He doesn't understand, he doesn't agree. Yeah, exactly. It's simple. And so anyway, I think that's the main thing. And so the moment that, and I feel like, again, when you see people that are getting preferential treatment, or especially like on Twitch, this has happened a lot, where people have said negative things like, you know, calling people crackers, etc., and not getting in trouble for it. Fuck that. Fuck that. It's like, I don't want people being able to say things that are like racially derogatory towards me. Why would I want to be okay with that? Why would I want that to happen? Like, it really, I mean, you just think about it. It's such a simple concept, isn't it? Yeah, you got banned for that. I thought it was weird because Hasan got banned, but other people didn't. I don't know why. It was really stupid. Why not though? Because it's unfair. It's unfair. I'm being treated differently because of something that I can't control. And the context of it is of something that I didn't do. So yeah, it's that simple.